Hello and welcome to HobbyKing Live. Stuart here with kind of an FPV 123 and a product profile. Not of a particularly new product, but of a product that's getting a new slant on it. Obviously, there's many advances in FPV, and currently the trending thing is FPV wings. There's been a lot of talk about that in the press and in social media, etc., etc. And this request actually comes from our own social media channel. There was many comments on recent videos when we were flying our VP's, Vice President's little Bonsai with his little FPV setup, and I know a lot of you guys wanted a few more details on his setup and the FPV setup on the Bonsai in general. So what we've got here right now is a product profile on the Bonsai with FPV additions, because it is a lot of fun, and the Bonsai from HobbyKing is an excellent wing for that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to quickly look at the stuff we've got on the bench. We're going to compare a standard line of sight Bonsai and then compare two different setups you could have, a lightweight setup and then a slightly heavier but a longer range setup that I've got here in front of me. And then of course we're going to go out and give them a spin. We're going to fly the lightweight to the longer range one, and also our cameraman Michael has, this is actually his wing here, and this is going to be his first fixed wing experience, let alone FPV on a plane, but first fixed wing experience. He's only flown quads up until then, so it'll be interesting to see how he enjoys that. Now this is a standard Bonsai wing, just with a motor, two servos, speed controller and receiver. The only thing that we've modified on this, Michael and I have stuck a little bumper on the front here where to protect our battery, and we'll come on to that in a second. But that is a line of sight Bonsai. Very popular, great flying model as it is in this form. However, with the advent of gear such as this, FPV equipment, and its cheapness and reliability and its availability, all you need to do is stick a small VTX and a small FPV camera on it. Other than that, you just need to power your camera, and I can show you how to do that as well. Now Michael's set up on his wing, he's got the Onway 700 TV lines camera. On my wing I've got the Fat Shark equivalent, slightly smaller and slightly lighter, but you do get a wider lens with the Onway. Now this here, you may not recognize it initially, but it is in fact our Quantum Elite VTX. This is the 25, 200 milliwatt and 600 milliwatt versions. They're available in each of those power outputs. Now what we've done to save weight is we've undone those two screws at the back and removed the VTX from the case, and what you're left with is the VTX in its naked form, just PCB. We've covered it in heat shrink, and this will just go directly onto the wing approximately about there, and the camera you can then we just hot glued it onto the front there. Now you want to position it to suit, and if we turn this one on you can see what kind of FPV view we've got. So that's the naked Bonsai, and this is essentially the same setup. I've got my camera that I mentioned right at the front. I've got the VTX. This is actually a 200 milliwatt one I'm running on this one at the moment, and this is a multi-star 17, let me just turn it and see, confirm that is. This is 1704 2300 kV V2 motor. Plenty of these in stock, so very good for this wing. And on our VP's one, he's got the Quantum 1806, which is a 2300 kV. Again, slightly bigger can, but the power output will be pretty much the same when you compare these two back to back. And that's pretty much it. It's really very straightforward. It's just a case of mounting it. And mounting it is crucial because you don't want to be too nose or too tail heavy, especially with wings. They're very CG critical. So if you follow the instruction manuals included, and when you lay out your equipment, with your camera here and your VTX here, it should balance pretty much spot on the money, especially when you consider you've got your battery up the front. Now we're running a graphene 1000 milliamp hour. We do have a 1300 milliamp hour. These are both two cells. Don't want to go super fast with this, but we can. If I was going to run 3S on this, and I may well do, I'm going to go down to a 1000 milliamp hour 3S, maybe even an 800. Again, it should all balance out nicely. Now, one more final thing before we go out, I'm going to talk you through the lightweight setup. And when I say lightweight, it is only 20 grams lighter compared to the long range setup that you've got here. But before I do that, I'm just going to quickly turn on my model, put my radio on. Now I've got a kill switch on mine, so it's all very safe. I'm going to plug that in. And what you should see, all good? There we go. What you should see is around our office. There's our engineer waiting in the wings, there's me, and there's Michael behind the camera. So that's the setup. Very nice clear view. I think I've got just the tip of the nose. Michael's got a little bit more he will have when he has it set up. I don't like too much in the way of obstructions of my field of view, just a little bit for reference. So that's my picture in this setup. Probably get about a mile range at a push on that, especially with good headset, and I will be running my Dominator HDs. And that's the 200 milliwatt setup, and I'll leave that on because that's fine as it is, because I've got the kill switch on my radio. Now on to Toby's, our VP setup. This is the one you would have seen flying previously. He isn't so methodical in his assembly, so it's a bit rough and ready, but the Bonsai will still take it. That's the great thing about this wing. It's super lightweight anyway, so you can lather it up with tape and it doesn't really matter. Now he's got the little Quantum 25 milliwatt camera and VTX combo, and because this is 5 volt, he's powered this directly from the receiver. So there's actually quite a bit less wiring compared to the 200 milliwatt setup that I've got on my wing and Michael will have on his. And in terms of assembly time, the actual installation of the FPV on this one is far simpler. I like to go all in and really push the boat out when I do my builds though, so I take a bit more time on this. And that is his lightweight setup. Now I say lightweight, when it comes down to it, I weighed the two of them, there is only 20 grams difference, so there's really not that much difference, but it will be interesting to see how they fly. So without further ado, whilst we're here talking about flying, let's get out to the field. We're going to give all of them a test flying back to back, and Michael's going to have his first fixed wing FPV experience, and we're going to see how these go on the 200 milliwatts and on the 25 milliwatts. Okay, so we're here at one of our local flying spots. I'm going to go and take my wing up first, again with the 700 TV Lines CMOS. This is the Fat Shark camera, and 200 milliwatts VTX. So we will test fly, because it hasn't flown yet. I'll probably test fly at line of sight, and then I'll go under the hood. Then we'll give Michael his turn, and by that time our engineer and our VP should have turned up, and we can have some Bonsai FPV shenanigans this lunchtime. Okay, so this is on 2S. Feels like it's lacking a bit. Fortunately, we can go up to a 3S very easily, but for today, it's not very windy. It will at least get us up in the air. And now we're going to bring it into land, and we'll go under the hood and get some FPV action. Gauge wire is quite thick on the battery, and I want it centered, so I'm just going to get a bit of tape over there, hold that nice and center. Don't want any adverse, well, you wouldn't call it yaw, just I don't want it rolling to the left or the right. I want all my weight right down the center. All right, let's go under the hood. All right, so it's flying good, bit of jello. That's to be expected. I didn't really balance my prop, and that plywood isn't the best for vibration. I am holding full throttle pretty much to maintain. Again, we'll go up to 3S and that will get rid of that. But it's really grooving. There's a little bit of wind now. Roll is good. This is only on low rate. I've got that up trim was pretty much came in as reflex. It is a flat bottom wing on this, so you need a bit of reflex. I can see that water now. I'm going to try and use that as an air gate. Let me come around, and then Michael, you want to give it a go?
Yep.
All right. Let's see if I can find that gate that's moving, that water gate. There it is. 1, 2. Oh no. Oh, goal! I hit the goalpost. It's all good? Yeah, it's all good. All right, Michael, your turn. Michael's actually doing very well. This is the first time he's ever flown fixed wing. It's not set up perfectly, there's no dual rates on there, and it's lacking a bit of power, but he hasn't crashed yet, so he's doing surprisingly well. You want to try landing? Just land it, pull up a little bit, pull up a little bit, pull up. Oh. You're over there, sir. There we are. That was a good landing. He's very pleased with himself, and so we should be. That was a nice landing. So Nick, as I mentioned, is here right now. Nick, please tell us a little about your setup, because it is different to this, and then you're going to go up, and then we'll go up later.
Okay. So this is generally the same setup, except I've got a slightly bigger motor. It's 1808 2400 kV V-spec motor. It just gives you a little bit more torque, doesn't bog down quite so much. Also a great motor if you're planning to go up to a 3-cell setup. seems to be flying well. Not the quickest on 2-cell, but there's enough power for what I need in such a small area here.
So that guy there behind us is Toby. You'll recognise him from some of our social from previous weeks. He's got his Bonsai with the little 25 milliwatt VTX camera combo on. He's going to take it up, and that will be the final Bonsai, and then we'll get them all up together and see what we can do there. Michael's got to be behind the camera, so Michael, if you don't mind, Toby, he is a good pilot, is going to take your one, and we'll see if we can chase each other. I got someone. Alright, whoa. So Nick, I'm still following you. You just got to turn tighter.
Who's that in front of me?
Me. Oh, there you are. Okay. Alright, so that about does it for this product profile on the Bonsai with FPV gear on it. To summarize, we need bigger motors on these ones, and we've got links to those products underneath this video right now. But definitely get yourself one, get some friends as we have here, and try and chase each other. It's a lot of fun. It's more difficult than I thought it would be. It always tends to be the case, but it's well worth it, and especially on the calmer days, these things really go nicely. I see someone now. Alright, bring it nice and low. Who's coming by the goalpost there? I gotcha. I gotcha. Pretty good. Just before we go, I went ahead and did some of those modifications that I talked about. I've now got the bigger motor. This is the V-spec motor, same one that Nick, our engineer, had. Also, I wanted a bit more authority with my servos, so I've gone up to the Bluebird 6-gram servos again. These will be linked underneath the product description, the video description, so you can see exactly what we've used throughout the build. And other than that, it's pretty much the same as it was. So I'm now going to take it up and see if we can get some better performance out of this wing. It is, however, windy today, so please ignore that, but the actual wing itself should go very, very well. So let's give it a go. So it's much better now on this motor. Thank you very much to Nick, our engineer, for this recommendation. This is the 1177 camera, the Turnigy one, and it's far, far superior to the CMOS. There's no jello or vibration here, which is great, as you can see in the picture. But it is, unfortunately, very windy today, and it's getting blown around a lot. However, on a calm day, this will be really, really nice. Now I'm at half throttle, as you can see me now, and now I'm going to throttle up to full. That's full, and that has good performance too. So windy now that I'm just hovering here in the wind, just as my timer's beeping. Alright, I'm going to bring it around. So that was it. Very windy, but even then it's still a pleasure with the Bonsai. Just park it into a strong headwind and just sit there like the original slope model it was intended to be. And it's great. Looking forward to coming out on much calmer conditions and really exploring this much lower down. Again, this camera is a very worthwhile upgrade, so please ignore the CMOS that I mentioned before, the Fat Shirt one. It's rubbish compared to the Turnigy 1177. Get one of those, get one of the 200 milliwatt Quantum VTXs. You saw I got quite a bit of height there. Bluebird servos and that V-spec motor, and you'll be good to go. And of course the Bonsai. So check it out, all the items are below this link. Get yourself a nice Christmas build and enjoy FPVing with the Bonsai from HobbyKing.